right. Here we are, January 13th, 2019 for the weekly candle close. We are just 5 minutes away. Let's take a look at a few things that we got going on here. Let's see. First off, on the weekly itself, obvious downtrend that has not changed since December 17th. Hull is showing more pressure on the downside. Volume so far this week just over last week's volume, but well under the volume from 2 weeks ago, which painted another spinning top after the bullish move that we had now 4 weeks ago. So we had a nice bullish engulfing candle coming down from that first low of the year, or the lowest low of 2018, 31.21. Big bullish engulfing candle here, but then you had two sideways weeks, and now we're about to close about halfway through that bullish, which is about the top of the candle that brought us that low. So we can zoom in a little bit over here and see if we can't, get a better picture of just these candles right here. All right, so that's what we're looking at as far as weekly's concerned. We got a couple different layouts that we're gonna be popping into here. Let's take another look over here. All right, so on the short time frame, 30-minute, we had that big drop. It was a double drop down. Let me zoom out a little bit here, and you'll see both drops from what I'm talking about. All right, so we were sideways for a little while. We had a big drop down. All right, sideways again for a little while. Another big drop down. And we've been sideways for the last few days of the week. Okay, and another big drop down. Now this drop down, not that it pales in comparison to the other two drops, but certainly not as much. But we are stepping down, stepping down, stepping down. Anybody's guess, really, depending on volatility. This area here was not that long, and then another drop, where this area here was much longer, where we actually started trending for a little bit up with higher highs, higher lows, and then we sort of broke that, and then we started going with lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, with lower high, lower high, lower high. But for the most part, we played in this one range. That's about all that happened in that zone. So that's on the 15. Let's pull up the other chart. That'll give us monthly, weekly, daily, and I got on here a 4-hour. So we just take a look at the different time frames, just what we're looking at candle-wise here, and you got a much better idea as far as what's actually going on. So we can pull those down because we finished that move, so we're okay with that. Right, it was a triangle. Right, you could have done two things. You could have lobbed off the wicks here, and you could have made an ascending triangle, right? Or you could have played the wicks, and you had a uptrend and downtrend, which got yourself a symmetrical triangle. In either case, it broke south, and that's where we are currently right now. That's our daily look. That's our daily chart. All right, it's 5:59. We are creeping up real quick. Let's take a head over to our 1, 5, and 15 charts, and we will watch as the candle drops. I'm not sure where the little countdown went over here. It's supposed to be a countdown, but we'll have to work on that for next time. So we can see buying coming in the last 2 minutes. Definitely got some bullish moves being represented on the 5. Still not enough to catch up for the 15. So let's see here. Let's see. Here we go. Here's the king. 5 seconds. 3, 2. It's like the ball dropping all over again. And welcome to the next week of trading. And with that came a lot of buying, and more buying is coming in right now. 35.13 so far is what we're sitting at. That'll paint the first well, the last two candles on the 15 for the week, right, ended up being bullish. A little bit of a reversal down from this last move here. We could see just from the drop down, right, the actual low on the drop was sitting right off this candle here. So 34.79 ended up being the low that we hit. We have since painted a wick. You know, you push down a lot further, you painted another wick that was not as low, and you painted another wick that was not as low. You had a little, two tries right to the high side. Both of them didn't make the 35.42 mark. So we're just kind of dancing around this 35.05, which was a target area going back, I believe, to November of 2017. So it's no surprise that that target was hit, and it's certainly no surprise that we're gonna flip it back and forth between support and resistance. So that's all normal. Everybody's cool with that. Let's see, as far as indicators. So you're getting some support here from the hole, right? The 40 crossed over the, or the 50 crossed over the 80. Both of them trading, or both of them representing themselves underneath the candles. So that's support. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I mean, that's on the 15 as well. On the 5, you got a different story. All right, so 1 minute chart still showing some bullish activity. Volume has dropped a little bit, about half of that from the minute prior. Just painted another candle there, so that'll be minute 2 of the new week. Let's head back over. See what we got over here. All right, so as far as the weekly is concerned, yeah, so we're gonna basically call it, that would have been 35.05, right? That would be the mark. On this chart, we have 35.50, so we could take 35.05, right? 35.13 was body. Just want to paint that out real quick. So it was body, and then the wick was 35. Oh, well, 34.79. Let's see, the wick on this guy for the weekly, 34.30. Okay, so very close. Very close. It's an interesting formation that we're getting here. Sort of took a big drive down, huge spinning top, big drive down, huge pickup, which almost encapsulated both of those drives down, and sideways spinning top. Let me see. I mean, it's almost a hanging man. I don't think the shadow's long enough for a hanging man, but could be. And then post hanging man, got ourselves another massive drop down. So relatively speaking, we're sort of maintaining this level, and this level, and the body level. All right, bodies are actually very close. Oh, of course, the body. I meant the wicks. The wicks are very close, but in the grand scheme of things, you're probably talking a couple $100. This should be 31.21. Let's see, on the low, 31.21. Yeah, and this low, yeah, 31.78. I mean, close. I don't think that's going to be close enough to consider it a tweezer bottom. Just take a closer look here and actually measure that out. Be interested to see what that is. Let's say, what do we got here? 3121.7. Well, 1.7%. I mean, the highest I think I'll go mentally would be 2% distance away, and then I'd say it'd be irrelevant for a tweezer top or tweeter bottoms or double top, double bottom, that type of thing. That 1.7%. I mean, on an asset that's trading over 3K, I don't know. I'd have to say That might be. Now, it's not much of a tweezer. There's not much of a wick. It's certainly bullish engulfing. But that's about all you got on that. All right, so that's on the weekly. Let's head back over here. So this is the 30-minute chart. We just see that last 30-minute period where we closed at. Of course, it'll be the same price, but I want to see what kind of pattern, if any, that we have going on here. Okay, so well, we know it's bullish. We had those last few minutes of activity on the minute chart. So let's see here. What levels did we get to? The top of this candle here, really not a significant candle, just sort of another candle in the line of this move down, pump up, this move down, pump up, maybe another move down. We'll see. These pumps don't seem to be, it's not that it's a pump, but these bullish candles don't seem to be all that much of a move. Trading under average. See, trading above average, trading well under average. Really not much volume for the end of the day, end of the week, both. You would expect to see a little bit more volume here. I mean, you had a good amount of volume coming down here, but this was also, you know, this is a very large move, so they could have exhausted a lot of traders, or a lot of traders could have already been in because of this move. Maybe they did a lot of selling on the way down. A lot of buying came in. So, yeah, not quite the move I would have expected. But that is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. All is well. So, let's see. I just want to maybe pull up just a handful of other charts, just real quick, sort of a rapid fire, see where we ended off with as far as the weekly is concerned. Let me pull this up over here. All right, let's see what we got going on. Alright, so top left, monthly, weekly, daily, 4-hour candles. So, weekly, POA, I know we went over a few of these last night, but alright, weekly, you know, not great. If anything, it could be a little bit bullish. You might be able to paint that as an inverted hammer, but not much of a body on here. It's not exactly a doji. If it was, you'd be looking at a gravestone doji, but typically a gravestone doji would be at the end of an uptrend, not the end of a downtrend. So POA's not looking great, but this is a little bit of room to breathe here if it is end up being an inverted hammer. So, you know, pressure did come down, so there was a lot of selling coming down, but there was not, you know, there wasn't a whole lot after the body. So this one's gonna ride with the bears, but with possible bullish sentiment. I mean, there's very little trading period. So this little stall out here could be good for an indication that this bearish, or at least behavior for now, could be slowing down or stopping. All right. What else we got here? All right, that's Bitcoin again. That's more Bitcoin. Then Bitcoin Coinbase. They're very similar. Prices, of course, are a little bit different, but it's about it. Okay, Ethereum. Ethereum on max, so this is for contracts, long and short the market. Man, that weekly is pretty bearish. So you had 1, 2, 3 weeks bullish activity with Ethereum, and then you just painted this candle here. It's a reversal candle pattern, right? So it's bearish engulfing. It's engulfing the body of the previous candle. So that is that's something to keep an eye out for. There does seem to be a little bit of help coming in here, right? During the last 4-hour period of Ethereum, it certainly stopped the bleeding. You were able to get a couple entries in there, so that's not too bad overall. What do we got on the next chart here? Factum. Yeah, Factum. We took a look at this last night. That's a pretty big retracement, all things considered. Let's see where this ended up here. So you're flowing in between the 618 and the 786 on the retracement. That's it's pretty hefty. I mean, that's a big retracement. So couple weeks of nothing but losing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row now. We can see that volume basically died. Look at all the volume that was going on during the bullish candles, right? Everybody's interested in buying, interested in buying, interested in buying, interested in buying, and then you had interest in selling with a large volume. Then you sort of had indecision with less volume, and then the last 3 have been very, 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 very little volume, which tells me, this particular trend here, right, is fading. It's getting weaker, and because of that, you can say that the trend itself is weak, and you want to put a lot of faith in it for continuation. So we could see maybe trading down to the 786, or at least maybe down to the body or this top wick, find a little extra confluence, a little bit of support, and then push up from there. Could make a nice ABCD if that's the case. So that would be that would actually be great. Let's take a look at one more chart, and then we'll wrap that up for now. We should be possibly hopping back on later. And going over some more charts. So Cardano here so far really working out well with this cup and handle. This retracement is dynamite right now. So we'll see if it continues down a little further. I think we have this down. This should be, I guess, a 382 retracement. Let's, I guess we'll have to fire that up real quick just to make sure. Let's throw our fib on here to the high. In between the 5 and the 618 is what we have on target. So this would make, yeah, that would make more sense. All right, so to the body, yeah, to the body of the bull. Now we could actually do this. No, not so much. All right, well let's put that back over in that zone. So currently we're on the 382. Found a little bit of support. Targets on screen are for the 5. Typically I'll draw that because you really get anywhere from the 382 to the 618. 382 being kind of on the norm or on the light side. 618 being sort of a little bit too deep. You're right on the edge of maybe that's too much of a retracement. And the 5 is sort of the happy medium, go-between. So that's why we have the 5 marked out on here. But so far for a cup and handle, that's working out well. If that support holds, obviously we would be looking to long ADA in a market that allows us to. But yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. All right. That'll wrap it up for now. Like I said, probably be back on later tonight. We'll see. We will see how that goes. All right. until then, everybody, happy trading. Thank you for tuning in. If you're coming in later and seeing this on YouTube or through one of the VODs or something like that, I do appreciate it. So you have any questions, comments, whatever the case may be, just go ahead and throw that in one of, I don't know, one of the chats, one of the platforms, or, you know, you can always hit me on Twitter, yada, 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 and that's it. All right, I'll see you next time.